unifying all the titles in the WWE. Is that something that the company should do? That is what we're going to talk about today. And of course, we want to encourage you to think about it and then make your own opinions down in the comments below. But my name is Simon Miller. This is WhatCulture Wrestling. And there are some new news bits, some new rumors, some new murmurings that seem to suggest that could be the direction Vince McMahon and his friends are headed in. So WWE may be about to unify all of their championships. Why? Here's why. Right, let's get straight into it. This is what, well, I guess this is what prompted this video. Earlier today on Twitter, you may have seen, Zack Ryder tweeted out, "Hey Hardy Boys, you just won the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Me and my good friend Kurt Hawkins are the Raw Tag Team Champions. Why don't next week during the Superstar Shake-Up, whatever the hell they're calling it, in Canada, we have a little match and bring the titles together?" Now, we know what WWE does, and many times they announce matches or tease matches on social media, and when you actually get to the show, we don't see anything. But look, if you just go through the landscape of World Wrestling Entertainment over the last couple of months, there is due course to have this discussion. One, when the women's tag team titles were invented or created or born, whatever you want to say, it was just one pair. Sasha Banks and Bayley, before they lost it, they were on SmackDown, they were on NXT, and of course they were on Raw. And now the Iconics have won it. While it does seem like they're going to be rooted for Tuesday nights for a little while, they still said in their promo, maybe we'll go to NXT, maybe we'll go to Raw, we'll go to wherever we can, because we now have that capability. On Raw, after WrestleMania, what did Seth Rollins propose? Or Kofi Kingston, I should say. Kofi Kingston said to Seth Rollins, why don't we have a unification match here this evening? Now, we didn't go through with that, obviously. The bar arrived and the bar stopped the festivities. I think we can all agree that in terms of post-WrestleMania shows, the bar were the party poopers. But I don't think, I'm sure that WWE did it to try and pop a rating, as they say, or keep interest. If you have seen the ratings, it didn't work. We got to the third hour, and I'm sure it's not exactly what WWE would have wanted. But now I'm starting to think this idea was planted in the fans' minds because it could be something that's being discussed backstage. I mean, let's now transfer into the Tag Team Champions. Maybe that's the whole reason, other than the fact that the Revival apparently had a bit of tete-to-tete backstage. Maybe that's the reason that they lost it. Maybe WWE thinks it's better the Hardy Boys beat Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. But I don't think Zack Ryder would have tweeted it out if the concept wasn't being played around with. And I will say this, as we enter a brand new season in WWE, and I've been saying this for a while, so I say it again here, they should absolutely do this. I think that allowing the champion to be on both shows, it will help when SmackDown goes to Fox. Then you can, put the championships on your top guy and make sure they're on both shows. That helps USA, and it helps the Fox network too. And you're already halfway there. Women tag team titles done. Becky Lynch, she's two-time Becky, or two-title Becky, whatever she's calling herself. So that's done. It doesn't seem like she's going to have more than one feud. She's focusing on Lacey Evans right now. So, have to start mucking around that you can unify those. US Championship and IC titles, do they really mean that much anymore? I mean, Samoa Joe looks like he's going to enter a program with Braun Strowman. Maybe that's how you get Braun Strowman back to where he needs to be. He beats Samoa Joe, he beats Finn Balor. He can be, well, I imagine they get rid of the US title, right, and probably keep the IC Championship, given that it started in WWE. And that's all there is to do. I think that would make the brand split far more interesting. You get round this problem that you have that see what Seth Rollins on SmackDown, you can't, we'll give him both belts. The real question is when they would do it for the World Championship, because even today in 2019, while titles in the WWE certainly don't mean as much as they used to, it's still pretty cool when someone wins the Universal title, and it's still pretty cool when someone wins the WWE Championship. That's why everyone was so excited to see Kofi Kingston do it, because it feels like an accolade, it feels like an achievement, and of course it feels like they deserve it, and what better way to show that than by putting a belt around somebody's waist. But maybe that's what you do at SummerSlam. We need a big idea for this year's, biggest show of the summer. WWE don't want to lose any of the momentum that they had over WrestleMania. It seems like we're doing another 4-day event around that. You have Seth Rollins, let's say Kofi Kingston, still the championship. You can tie into everything that happened, over the last couple of days. And by that point, that could be the last title to unify. And obviously the best thing about SummerSlam, it comes in August. What are WWE doing a couple of months later? They're moving over to Fox. And then everything is in place. But I don't know whether it's going to happen on Raw or whether it's going to happen on SmackDown next week, but I will say this. If those tag team titles are put on the line and they are unified with all the other people we've just talked about that are also doing double duty, I'd imagine this is this is the direction we're headed in. I would be excited about it. I remember when Brock Lesnar was the Universal Champion back in the early 2000s. He was on Raw, he was on SmackDown, he was kicking ass. And we're talking to Brock Lesnar, he's the reason that proves this can work. Because usually when you bring up the idea of having a brand split where a champion can filter through both, they say, oh, you can't possibly not have a champion on Raw or not have a champion on SmackDown. Well, actually, you can. because Brock Lesnar hasn't been a regular on Raw since he came back in 2013, or whatever the hell it was, and he certainly hasn't been a regular over the last 12 months. So you don't always need to have the champions show up. In fact, it probably makes them more special. It's what we used to do back in the territory days as well. And then you can build up the other titles too. So maybe, let's say Braun Strowman is the Intercontinental Champion. He can be the focus on Raw. That's only going to help that title, and who doesn't want to bring importance back to that? But over on SmackDown, you're fighting for the WWE Championship too. That, to me, is the way forward for the brand split. I don't want it to die. I keep worrying that WWE may do that when Drew McIntyre turns on SmackDown and The Bar, for example, turned up on Raw. But it's the one piece, I can't talk. It's the one missing piece of the puzzle. Let champions filter through both. I think there's something there. I think it's a great way to make championships mean something again. Hopefully, when we get to next year's WrestleMania, everybody will be just happier and have a smile on their face. And that's it. That's just what it really made sense to me when I saw the Hardy Boys, because I accepted the challenge. I mean, there's nothing official from WWE as I'm recording this. I would like to see it. I don't think the brand split is going to end anytime soon. You can't end the brand split right now with Fox and USA being different TV channels. I think it's almost quintessentially, well, it is. It's so essential that you keep that locked, because USA might not like it, and who knows? I don't know what I'm even talking about. But I don't think. I'm not saying this was the plan. But I think now that they kind of back themselves into the corner with especially the women's title on Raw and the women's title on SmackDown with Becky Lynch, and that does seem to be working pretty well. I don't hear anybody moaning, oh, now there's no title over here. I think we should do it. I think we should just go all in, unify the titles, keep the brand split alive, and it'd be something new that we can talk about as we're doing now, and by, come 2020 WrestleMania, I think that's the other thing. I know I'm ranting now, but that's the other thing. It will make WrestleMania feel more important, because we saw so many title matches on the show of shows, and really the only one that properly clicked was Kofi Kingston and Daniel Bryan. I mean, that's not fair. I know Seth Rollins got a huge ovation as well. I take that back, actually. That's not fair. That's ridiculous. But I just think it would mean more. I really, really do. And if nothing else, if you're only fighting for one championship, there's only one world championship for the men and only one world championship for the women, it means automatically you can have less shows, less matches, I should say, on WrestleMania, because I think now the dust has settled. We've all agreed that 7.5 hours is too long. And in fact, just on a quick route over here, that is the real problem with WrestleMania at 7.5 hours. WrestleMania isn't meant to be you get on the show because you're an employee of WWE. WrestleMania was always pitched as, finally, you have, done such a good job, or you've worked yourself into such a prominent position that now we're going to put you on WrestleMania. I think we've got to go back to where all matches feel incredibly important, because as much as I did enjoy the Demon Finn, the Demon Balor, taking on Bobby Lashley, it was over so quickly. It was fun, but it hasn't made me care about that championship anymore. And the best way to do that is to bring your hands together, and we can take it from there. So this is Simon Miller for WhatCulture Wrestling on the streets of New York. Could be the last video we do from NYC, so I just want to say thank you to everyone. That was loud. Thank you to everyone who has supported WhatCulture over the last few days. I know that we've all had a great time, and I'm pretty sure when we wake up in a couple of days, after all back safe in the UK, it'll be like, where's the madness? Where's the craziness? I want that back in my life. It's like adrenaline. It's like what wrestlers do. They go out, they get a bit pop, like, oh, I need to get that big pop again. For some reason, we get the same with YouTube. And we get the same for making videos. But you haven't seen all the whys, or the ups and downs, or the list, or the last minute rumors, or the what went down, or what happened, or any of that stuff. Please do go check it out. Make sure you engross yourself in all the stuff we did here out at WrestleMania, and who knows, come 2020, maybe we'll be back, maybe we won't be back, maybe AEW will have risen from the ashes, and they'll have a show that's called Grapple Fest. Don't ever call it Grapple. Just, how weird is the name WrestleMania? That's what I want you to do for the rest of your day. Think about the term WrestleMania. If you wanted to have a big event to show off your brand, would you actually call it WrestleMania? Especially when you talk about Vince McMahon. He doesn't like the word wrestle. He doesn't like the word wrestler. He doesn't like the word wrestling. But when it comes to every April, all of a sudden that word is fine, but nobody thinks about it, because WrestleMania is just a huge brand. No idea what I'm even talking about anymore. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment below if you've got some kind of thought, some kind of speculation you want to add into the debate. That's where you do it. And again, go follow WhatCulture on Twitter at WhatCulture WWE. And of course, we've got a website. It's called WhatCulture.com, and you can read every single piece of information and every single piece of news that is coming out of the world of wrestling. And yes, please, go watch more videos here on WhatCulture Wrestling. My name is Simon Miller. I'll see you soon.